CES 2024 Las Vegas has just wrapped. With all the technology, all the TVs, all the manufacturers that we have shown you, there's one thing not many people have talked about in regards to Samsung. Samsung, like last year, the stars of the show were QD-OLED, MicroLED, and this year, transparent MicroLED. But where are the QLEDs? Where is the Neo QLED? They were there. They were the actual stars, however, only at 8K. Up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me. As I mentioned, CES, Samsung, MicroLED, QD-OLED, matte finish, and MicroLED, transparent MicroLEDs. However, QLEDs have been glossed over by many other reviewers and media outlets. However, I love Mini LED, and this year was really looking to see what Samsung was putting together, considering we're talking about 4,000 nits, 10,000 nits from Sony, TCL, and Hisense. Well, Samsung typically leads the charge in this category, and many of us were wondering what Samsung would do this year. Would they get rid of 8K? We assumed it. Every year since 8K has launched, they've had two models, 800 and the 900. Last year, 800C, 900C. I've brought you those reviews for many, many years now. They're not covered by many. However, this year, not only did they double down, they've completely separated the QLED lineup by a processor and a feature that neither the QD-OLED or the 4K Neo QLEDs will see. Now, why do I believe 8K is their one true star? Well, it's due to their new processor. It's not on anything else. It's not on their 4K Neo QLED or their QD-OLED lineup, not on the flagship, their matte finish. None of that. It is only on their 8K TVs. In the TV world, it is all about processing, picture quality, and super resolution and super motion resolution for Samsung is the star of the show, and it's only on the 8K displays. Now let's quickly show you the 4K Neo QLED lineup. Last year, the QN95C was a good deal better than the QN90C. A lot of variations of panel and panel technologies from VA to ADS panels. I reviewed the QN95C at 85 inches, which had the one connect box, which was actually a rare display, was really only available to custom install retailers such as Value Electronics and even ABT, but not at Best Buy. So a lot of you guys didn't even see them. So here the Neo QLED is kind of just thrown in the corner with some pretty terrible breakdancing, very colorful ice cream demo material. So even shooting this TV or this group of TVs longer than a few seconds was kind of painstakingly difficult. There was no information on them from the staff around them. There was nothing to indicate they were anything special. No new processor. So imagine if any incremental upgrades, that's all you'll see. They look nice here, but they look really thrown to the side. Again, terrible demo material. A lot of the manufacturers had that this year. Very short loops of the same thing, which is why shooting a bunch of it didn't make a lot of sense. Now for me, again, the real star of the show is the 8K displays. That pedestal is very sleek. The TV hovers in mid-air. This is in Samsung's main booth. And why I show you this here, it's the only TV in Samsung's main booth, where if you didn't have access like FOMO and I, where we saw the QD-OLEDs and all of the prototypes, you would not have seen any other TVs other than a few monitors and the Neo QLED 8K. Nothing else. No QD-OLEDs. So this is the star of the show. Look how it floats in the air. Look how thin. They are bezel-less. Absolutely beautiful. And here we are back at the sneak peek. This is an exclusive Samsung event. I imagine these are the flagship. They do have a new One Connect box, which is more sleek and sits more up and down versus leaning against the stand. You'll see that in the back momentarily. See how it's a little more straight up and down? It's even more thin than in years past. Samsung is top-notch with their design, with the center stand and their bezel-less design. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely elegant. Now we hear processing all the time, especially last year with Sony's XR Clear, which was everything or on everything from its entry level to its flagship, where Samsung has decided to put a feature on their only top flagship to really separate from the rest of their lineup, which is an odd choice. However, the super resolution or the AI upscaling, AI is on everything now. And look at the blooming control, quite good, is only on their 8K models, and it can be disabled and enabled. So what's interesting is we'll be able to actually show you side by side how the Samsung 900D looks against a QN95C or 95D QD-OLED or a Sony 8K TV. I'll be able to enable those features. They look gorgeous. They've always looked good from the very first 8K TV. The challenge has been that sometimes the 4K display would actually outshine. Now here is an example. It doesn't show well on camera, and I'll pan back and I'll show you a couple different examples of it. It's 1080p footage, and you can see how the resolution cleans it up. What's interesting is that actually, and you can actually push the button and make it work, it cleans it up. It's hard to see in this next shot, but it was pretty jarring in person. It cleans it up, but it doesn't take away the natural image. Now the camera's overexposed, it's very bright in this room. But it cleans it up, but the flaws on this kid's face are still there. The hairs, the wrinkles on his clothes, they're all still there. They don't disappear. You'll see it more evident in the next shot with the newscaster. So the AI picture quality can be enabled and disabled, where XR Clear, if you don't like it on Sony, there's no way to disable it. You'll see it here with the newscaster, that it's much cleaner with the AI picture quality on. Now the motion resolution was actually pretty jarring in person. It's hard to see on camera that the golf ball had no stuttering or juddering at all. Now it doesn't show up well on camera. Now I did ask if both of these features can be enabled at the same time, and the answer was yes. Now we had also an exclusive look, both FOMO and I, to other technologies that Samsung had that we couldn't film. And a good part of that was this technology, was this processor. We saw some older films with some print on a tablet and an old stone wall that was now very visible, which was 1080p, was visible with the 8K upscaler. Meaning it's going to be about finally taking 4K or 1080p and upscaling it to 8K, not just through up conversion, but processing. Not through pixel density, but processing. And if you don't like it, you can simply disable it. So I'm showing you the transparent micro OLEDs and the micro LEDs and the things that we have here. But the reality is the 8K lineup is going to be the star. Now, many of us scoff at that. We've said for years it's unnecessary. Without a format behind it, without a 4K Blu-ray, or I should say 8K Blu-ray, with streaming being so limited, with GPUs being able, even with DLSS, to do 8K, it's so far away. However, if you can do it via processing and the upscaling is that good, people will buy it. People will also buy the 8K lineup just to have the best TV in Samsung's lineup. As I'm looking at micro LEDs, they are beautiful. But I am going to go back and tell you, for the reality of what Samsung is bringing this year, their investment is not QD-OLED. Their investment is in 8K. Now, I'm simply showing you their other products because they were that beautiful. But when you go to a lot of these trade shows, you have to read between the lines. MicroLEDs have been there for years. The transparent MicroLED, its use case is not realistic. It's not something that you're going to see anytime soon. Matte finish QD-OLEDs, to me, we have discussions about that. Fine, it has its place, but that's not the revolutionary change. It's the processing. It's what set Sony apart this last year, and it's what's going to set Samsung apart this year. Not QD-OLED, where the S90 will be, what's up FOMO? S90 will be very similar to last year's S90. And the matte finish will turn off many. I can already tell you that is going to happen. But where it's looking to win and where it really beat its chest, where Samsung really was going loud with it, was with the processing. They have an entire booth set up describing their processor, what it can do, what it can recognize, the detail. That's what you'll pay for. They have to find a way to delineate their lineups to have a reason to buy 8K. And I will tell you, if that works well in practice, if it's tangible in person, it will be worth purchasing. Finally, my point at the end of this video is 8K will have a purpose. You will finally be buying the best TV in Samsung's lineup. It will truly be an 8K TV, whether we're happy to hear it or not. It's great to have variety. It's great to have the storyline. That Samsung didn't abandon it, but they needed to put some space in between the 4K lineup and the 8K lineup. Not just hold back the 4K lineup, find a reason to use this processor. It's needed with this resolution. And while the other manufacturers are chasing nits, 4,000 nits, 10,000 nits, Samsung is finally focused on processing. All right, guys, I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. I hope you've enjoyed this video on the Neo QLED 8K from Samsung. Please consider liking and subscribing. I will see you in the comments. Love you guys. Take care.